it's Pete here, and today I wanted to cover some of the action from the first day of the World Championships. So we'll get in, and there's quite a lot to cover, so we'll take a look. But first things first, if you want to watch any of this live, if you're on BBO and around when the sessions are on, if you see this view graph button, you'll be able to watch some of the action live. This will look yellow and it'll tell you how many tables there are. There'll be a heap of tables that you can choose between, and a bunch of them will actually have commentary there live. So if you wanted to do that, there's how you can do it. But what I want to look at is a few interesting matches and pick out some of the keyboards from them. So we'll jump in, and the very first match I wanted to look at was Australia versus Norway. So here I just wanted to cover some of the interesting boards. So the first big swing board here came on this one, which it looked relatively routine. South here opened a spade, and North jumped to 3 diamonds, which I believe showed 4-card invitational hand. And South, with just their dead minimum, stopped in 3 spades, which all seemed pretty routine, but 4 spades is a fair contract here. If you look, you're going to lose 2 clubs. You're missing the king of spades, but a finesse can take care of that. And you do have a couple of heart losers, but you just need West to have one of the king or queen of hearts. You can actually take 2 finesses there, and 10 tricks rolls home. So here 3 spades made 10 tricks. At the other table, they managed to bid it. So let's take a look at the other table here. So here, East, first seat favorable, got in with a very aggressive 1 club opening. And South overcalled a spade. West then supported clubs, and North made a good raise of spades, and that went double, saying, yep, I like clubs. And then it went pass, and North jumped to 4 spades. So here it seemed like the choice was more on North, whether to go or not. And the auction there was lots of bidding here, and the clubs, having no wasted points in clubs, is pretty good. One other thing worth discussing here, I'm not totally sure how they do this, but is the meaning of this pass here. So this 3 club bid says we're playing in spades and I've got an invitational or better hand. And the next hand doubled, which now gives South this freedom to pass. Some partnerships actually play bidding 3 spades straight away says, I have a very bad hand. And just the principle of fast rival, where you get to your spot as quickly as possible. So pass here could have said, hey, you know, my hand's not terrible. I've got a slightly better hand than I possibly could. Other partnerships have pass be the weaker option. Don't know what they actually do here, but some distinction there might have been able to help North bid to this 4 spade contract. And Norway managed to pick up 10 imps for bidding this vulnerable game. One of the next big swings came on choosing what to overcall on this hand. So here South has a 10 count with a 6-card suit. They got in there with 1 spade. They're favorable as well. And West has this pretty awkward hand. Now, I'm sure lots of people would be quite happy to overcall 2 diamonds, but Helgamo chose to overcall 1 no trump, even with a singleton ace of hearts here. So interesting choice. And also following on that is Tor didn't transfer to hearts. Now he has 5 small hearts. Usually you would transfer. One of the good indications that might have persuaded him against that is his holding in spades. This doubleton king might have led that more towards no trumps as well. Now here, no trumps didn't actually go so great for them. So a spade lead through the king, and then they kept going here. The defense does get a bit awkward here, and the spade continuation's fine, and they've set up their spades. And now Declarer goes in with ace of diamonds and a diamond trying to set up their diamonds. Now, what do you actually do with this North hand? What do you actually switch to? So here, if you play a club, it's going to be quite slow, and the opponents get their diamonds going. But here, Hans just switched to a heart and in with the queen. And now all of his hearts are winners. And East-West are a bit stuck. They could have still made it pretty difficult. Here they chose to take the ace of clubs. and like the ace king of clubs and just be done with the hand. But if they continue to diamond, it would be quite difficult for North to realize that, oh, I have to play a low heart to my partner's 10. But it's sort of like you don't know the layout of the opponent's cards there. So they just took the down one. But at the other table, they went for the more normal 2 diamond overcall, even though you've only got a 5 card suit. They preferred that. You've got compensating high card points. So even though your suit's not fantastic, your hand's reasonable. North made a double, and they got to 3 diamonds, which lost a spade. It lost 2 diamonds, but the rest of that was straightforward. So that was the second big swing, and a bit of a comeback for Australia. There was a few more small boards, but then this interesting one came up here, and both tables just straightforward auctions, 1 no trump, 3 no trumps. And one of the real questions is, well, what do you lead from the North hand? Do you opt for your 4th highest, or do you opt for leading an ace from an ace king? Here, Hans decided to lead the ace of clubs, and this works out spectacularly. Partner has 4 clubs, and you'll also get the ace of spades. Whereas at the other table, they opted for a heart, and now the opponents can get their... they've got 3 hearts and 5 diamonds, so they're still not making it yet, but the pressure on being able to defeat this is a lot more difficult. So went in with the Queen of Hearts here. And what you'll notice here is they've actually tangled up the heart suit a bit. And this is just to obscure what's actually going on, so that if the defense get in, it's not clear who has the King of Hearts, what's going on. And they've gone straight to spades. They can see that the opponents can take clubs, but they want to give them as little information as possible to find the switch in time. They duck 1 spade, and then they claimed their 9 tricks, and 3 no trumps rolled home there. But yeah, interesting one on the lead, and then also the follow-up of how do you actually hide the fact that we don't have a club stopper, and what can we actually do about it? The next big swing, this one here, a couple of interesting auctions. So I want to go over the auctions from both tables and then just talk about the plays. So both north-south pairs. So here, the 1 club opening was a strong club, and then it went 1 spade. This pass here showed between 0 and 4 points. Usually you'd double in these sorts of auctions to show 5 to 8. So the north hand's really weak. East bid 2 clubs, and south just chose 4 hearts. If we switch to the other table, here it just went a strong 2 club opening, 2 diamonds waiting. I've got 2 hearts. 2 spades here might be a second negative or something along those lines. South said, yes, I have hearts, and North opted for 3 no trumps. Now, the play here in 3 no trumps, you get a low club lead, and they put in the queen, and there is a very safe way to make 9 tricks here, which is just building your spade trick. Your clubs are actually good enough here with the 8, 9, 7, and the queen's already gone, as well as the ace, that your 9 is another stopper. So if you just play a spade, you'll now have 6 hearts, the ace of clubs that's already gone, ace of diamonds, and that spade that they've built, and that's 9 easy tricks. 4 hearts, on the other hand, isn't quite so easy. The opponents found a fantastic lead. They started with a low heart lead. Now, if anything else was led, it would be very easy to make this contract just by trumping a spade. Now, you might be thinking it's still pretty easy to make this contract because it looks like we've got 6 heart tricks, we've got the ace of clubs, we've got the ace of diamonds, and you can definitely get 1 spade trick. And good news, the diamond finesse works. You can play a diamond to the queen, and that will make. But here, Gill found an interesting line, which was actually hoping West had the king of diamonds, and I'll play through it. But if you look from this, which opponent do you think might be stronger or might be more likely to have the king of diamonds? He actually had to guess this pretty early in the hand. And he actually chose that West, he thought, had the king of diamonds. So here you can see that you can make on a finesse, but I just want to highlight what he was hoping for in this place. So heart lead, great lead by Helgamo because it stopped the easy spade ruff for the 10th trick. So you won and just gave up a low spade at this stage already. Now they have to continue a heart to prevent it, and they did that. So now he drew some trumps and had to guess what's going on. Now, West is the only player with spades at this stage. And here he played a club to the ace, and this is the crucial moment. If he wants East to have the king of diamonds, he can just play a diamond to the queen. But what they're trying to do is eliminate all West cards. Again, he thinks the king of diamonds is in the West hand, so he just trumped a club. And now went in with the king of spades, and West won. And here, when they return a spade, he wins. And now he plays the final heart. And if West had the king of diamonds at this stage, they have one of two choices. They can either throw a spade away, in which case Gil would play a spade to Helgamo, and they'd have to lead a diamond into the ace-queen. Or they can throw a diamond away and come down to a singleton king of diamonds, in which case Gil can lay down the ace of diamonds. They see the diamond discard, and now he lays down the ace, hoping to see the king, but to no avail, and is down one. Nice line. Guessed who had the king wrong. So if you watch this one, you might have been just screaming, why didn't they take a finesse? But I hope that clears that up. So Australia lost 12 imps on this board. So the final result was Australia won 29-25. So close match in the end with a few interesting swings there. Found that one really interesting. So other results from the first round that I want to go over that were pretty interesting. Here, New Zealand had a massive win over Argentina, scoring nearly a maximum. So fantastic start to New Zealand. Also, Canada beat Singapore pretty handily. So another strong result there. Uruguay actually beat Sweden. I think this is a very strong result for Uruguay, and not the start that Sweden wanted to look at. And also the Netherlands, who I thought might be one of the top picks for this, had a very small win over South Africa. And I don't actually know too much about South Africa, but I think they're probably worth keeping an eye on throughout this tournament. I thought this result was very interesting, between Netherlands being one of the very strong teams. So that was the first round. So let's look in round number 2. For the second round, there was an interesting battle between the two USA teams, USA 1 versus USA 2. You might be wondering, so USA is the only country that gets 2 teams sent to the Bermuda Bowl, to the World Championship. And this is more of a historical thing, that when the Bermuda Bowl started, it was sort of USA versus Europe, and they sent a couple of teams each, and it's come from that. Also because USA has a massive player base. Lots of how many entries for the Bermuda Bowl, they break up the world into zones based on regions, and how many entries you get into the Bermuda Bowl is based on what sort of total player base your zones actually have. So that's why USA gets a couple of teams, and it's not that USA 1 is better than USA 2 or something. There's just a couple of different entry methods. So either team can be better, but it is USA 1 versus USA 2. So USA 2 is north-south, USA 1's east-west. So the very first swing here comes from just like a defensive agreement. Both tables got to 4 spades, and you can lose 1 diamond and 2 hearts, and you should lose a spade as well. But North-South have to be careful to actually get to their hearts quickly. So here it went a diamond lead, and they won. And now they just switched to the 10 of hearts at this stage, and it went 10, queen, king. And now North has to continue hearts and get this heart straight away, because the diamond's set up, and they can actually throw a heart away. Now here North might be thinking that, oh, what about if declarer's got ace 9 of hearts? It's not clear, did partner switch to the 10 from 10-8 doubleton, or does declarer have the ace 9? And also, it doesn't actually look like the hearts are going to go anywhere. Because if we look at the start of the hand, West actually has a 4-2-2-5 shape, not one of the traditional balanced hand shapes, but one that lots of experts do treat as balanced. But it's not clear that this dummy has anything set up that the heart is going to go away anywhere. So here, after the 10 of hearts, Bathurst decided to switch back to a diamond and take a more passive approach and try and protect against the chance that Hurd actually just had 10-8 of hearts and not lead away from his jack. But now, after they draw trumps, the heart goes away and they make. Whereas at the other table, diamond lead, in with a heart and a heart back. So that was a game swing, and that was 12 imps to USA 1. Another interesting swing board here came with bidding. Here, north-south can actually make slam in spades, but they also have to be pretty careful here in trying to play the hand as well. So first of all, can you bid these north-south cards to 6 spades? So at one table, here the auction went a diamond, a spade, 3 spades, and north bids 3 no trumps. This is most likely a slam try, saying I've got some interest still playing in spades because you've bid and agreed spades. And here south bid 4 hearts. Now, my guess here is that this actually showed a shortage in hearts, highlighting a singleton or void. And now north knows that this is fantastic. Having just ace third heart and double fit with diamonds and spades, the hand is really, really good. And they actually bid all their way to 6 spades. Now, that's not the first, not the only issue that they actually have to overcome here. Another is how to actually play the spades. So you're missing the king and the jack. Here, the way that the play went was it went heart lead, they won the ace, and they led the queen of spades. And this works out spectacularly on the hand. It pins the jack, and now you can successfully finesse the king of spades. And they tested to see if diamonds weren't 4-0. And now they just went about trumping their club. When that happened, they can actually make 13 tricks. At the other table, they didn't get to 6 spades. They got to 4. So again, similar start. Diamond, a spade, 3 spades, 3 no. Now they bid 4 diamonds. Not totally sure what that is. It could be a Q bid, but I don't know why they didn't bid clubs. But they still tried to get there, but maybe they didn't highlight the shortage. Not 100% of their agreements here. And they stopped in 4 spades. Also, when they chose to play spades, they opted for a low spade towards the 10. Now, this is technically if you're just considering spades and not do I need to trump or my other entries, a low spade towards the 10 or the 8 is what the percentage line says. Leading the queen is very, very close behind. So they're very similar lines, but the percentage line is low towards the 8. And that's largely checking for East having a singleton king instead of West having a singleton jack. But here they chose the wrong one. And now when there's a heart ruff, they can't pick up the king as well. So they actually only make 11 tricks on this. So if you guess the spades wrong, there's only 11 tricks. So big swing back to USA 2 there. So it's all really close. USA 2 is up 20-19. There were a few other swings, but here's another interesting part score battle one that I saw. So here, North opened a club and East opted for a takeout double, and South bid a spade and West bid 2 clubs. Now, this 2 club bid usually says, hey, I've got a good hand. I've got a couple of suits to choose between. North double here was a support double. And here I'm kind of surprised East didn't actually just say, yeah, I prefer diamonds to hearts. That's what I would have expected here. But it went pass, and West chose hearts, and then it went all pass. And 2 hearts didn't play that well in the 4-3 fit, because the opponents start on clubs, knock out the ace, and now there's the dilemma of, like, can you draw trumps or not? Because they don't actually have trump control, and North-South have actually set up their clubs at this stage. They take a finesse, and they're just passive for now, making the declarer side commit with what they're going to try and do. They win the king of hearts, and keep going with spades. And declarer is hoping for hearts to be a bit more sensible. They then take the diamond finesse, which fails. And at this stage, now they give the rough and discard after they've collected all their tricks that are outside of the heart suit. And this gives their partner a trump promotion, or trump control at this stage, because if they ruffed with the ace of hearts, then the queen 7 would be winning. Here, what they were hoping for were hearts were breaking 3-3. Didn't work, but yeah, they went down a bit. At the other table, they opted for the 1 diamond bid rather than the takeout double, and that let them find 3 diamonds a bit better. A club, a diamond, a spade. Here, this double would have shown hearts and some diamond tolerance. Redouble support for spades, pass, 2 diamonds. 2 hearts, they're offering hearts along the way, and back to 3 diamonds saying, nah, I'm not that interested. But that was the last good swing there. So here were the full scores. So USA 2, small win, 8 imps, but they'll take it over USA 1. So USA 2 wins the grudge match. Now, if we go look at other results from round robin 2, notably here, Australia had a big win over the UAE, which was really good. Anytime you get over sort of 15 or more, that's a really great result. So yeah, Australia would have been happy with that. Netherlands versus Uruguay had another good win. South Africa having a nice solid win against a European team. Again, I think I've underrated them a bit. They seem to be performing very strongly early in this, so we'll keep an eye on them, see if they can keep that up. Another interesting match here was the Italy versus Switzerland. In the Europeans, the Swiss team won the qualifiers, so Italy beating them, they'll definitely be happy with that. And again, the USA versus USA match. So that were the interesting matches in round 2. And currently USA 2 leading and Australia close behind. But let's see what the final match from today had. So for the match I wanted to highlight for round 3, I wanted to look at Sweden versus Netherlands. Now, this round had a lot of action in it. I'm just going to be picking a few boards, but there were a lot of swings in this throughout every match, basically. So imps were flying about. Here I wanted to really highlight the question of how high should you preempt, and looking at the effect that actually has on some of the decisions. So here we've got Sweden in north-south at this table, and Netherlands east-west. So board 1 started with pass, a club, and West has 9 diamonds. 9. But is vulnerable against not. So how high do you want to bid with this? At this vulnerability, do you choose 5 diamonds or do you choose 4 diamonds? So here, they chose 5 diamonds, and when the opponents are at the 5 level, usually you just double them and let them be. And you can actually beat 5 diamonds too and get 500. That would be taking 2 rounds of hearts and 2 rounds of spades before they can use their ace of clubs. And you might think, oh, they don't have any entry to that ace of clubs. But that 9 of diamonds can actually get you in. So here, North chose the queen of diamonds lead. If they'd chosen to lead their partner's suit, the same effect, but they get to win the ace of diamonds, low diamond over to the 9 and get 1 discard, and they're going to be down 1. At the other table, Here, South opened 2 diamonds. They're playing sort of a precision style, a strong club system. It's actually called Tarzan Club. But 2 diamonds said, hey, I've got sort of between 10 and 14 points and a shortage in diamonds. Maybe I've got a 4-4-4-1 shape. Maybe I got a 5-4-3-1. I went 2 diamonds. I have a shortage here. And West just chose 4 diamonds instead of 5. And North opted for 4 hearts. And that's where they ended. And here in 4 hearts, you don't lose any hearts, you don't lose any spades, you do lose a diamond, you do lose the ace of clubs, and they can get a club rough. But on a diamond lead, they're going to be making more. So yeah, 11 tricks were claimed, and the higher preempt here did work, even though 5 diamonds can go down too. So that was the first decent swing. The next board I wanted to look at, again, how high do you preempt, or do you preempt at all? Here we got a 3 heart preempt. Check this out. They've only got 3 points, and they've got a 7-2-2-2 shape. But if you look at the vulnerability, they're actually favorable. So they opened 3 hearts. At the other table, I just wanted to highlight, they opened 4 hearts. So at the highest level, preempting, really vulnerability dependent. And don't just think about high card points. They want to get in there because preempting makes the opponents guess a lot. Now, here, there's a very subtle thing that changed based on what the different preemptive level actually did. So we'll go back to the first board, first table. So here it went 3 heart opening, and East overcalled 4 diamonds. Now, this is showing a 5-5 shape and a pretty decent hand. It shows diamonds and spades. This convention here has got various names, but is sort of called non-leaping Michaels. And it comes from, there's a system called leaping Michaels, where if it was a 2 heart opening, jumping to 4 clubs or 4 diamonds would say I've got a strong 5-5. But people realize that you don't really want to be overcalling 4 of a minor that much over a preempt. So jump or not, why not just leave it as a 5-5 shape? So strong 5-5 with diamonds and spades. South bid 4 hearts. And West, loving their hand, jumps to 6 diamonds. But you are off the ace king of clubs and can suffer a club rough. But sort of a bit hard to diagnose that. At the other table, here over the 4 heart bid, it went a takeout double. So they had to choose, do they make a takeout double? Do they overcall 4 spades? Takeout double worked pretty well. If you bid 4 spades, you get doubled, and 4 spades is no fun. So takeout double seemed pretty good. And now it went pass, and West has 2 5-card minors. They want to show both their minors and find out which one's the better one to play in. So they bid 4 no trumps. And here East says, yeah, I actually really like diamonds. And now West can happily bid 6 diamonds. Again, you've got the same issue with clubs, but here South gets to double in this auction because East has shown some clubs and West has shown some clubs based on the double and the 4 no trump bid, which actually means that they get to double, and they get a very healthy bonus here because 6 diamonds goes 2 down doubled, vulnerable for plus 500 and 7 more imps. So nice little swing there. The final board that I wanted to look at here was 1 diamond opening. South overcalled a heart, North doubled, and East jumped to 4 hearts. They've only got 1 point, but they got great shape. And again, vulnerability. They're not vulnerable, the opponents are. South got in with 4 spades, and now West knows that North-South have a spade fit. Their partner only has 1 spade. It looks fantastic here. So they went on and bid 5 hearts, thinking I don't have a great defense. I've got solid hearts. I got the ace of spades and some length, but hopefully we can do some cross-ruffing. Now, North doubled here, and that went all pass. Now, importantly, what would you actually lead from this North hand here? You got a nice sequence in spades. Your partner's also bid diamonds. But when the opponents sacrifice, leading trumps is a really good thing to do. They're at the 5 level. It was your hand. You don't need good trumps to double them. You double them to say it's your hand, and then you lead trumps and cut down on their cross ruffs. So here, when you lead a trump, the opponents just go straight into a cross ruff, but you've cut down one of their tricks here. And a trump lead works great because when they sacrifice, they're not bidding because they've got lots of points. They're bidding because they've got lots of shape. And how are they going to make that shape work? They're actually going to cross ruff. So that's why you want to be leading trumps there. At the other table, 1 diamond, 1 heart double. This time only 3 heart preemptive raise and 3 spades. They raised to 4 hearts, but then opted to try and defend. But 4 spades came good on this one. So another swing there. So the final result was a handy win to the Netherlands, 40-8. But this set, there were heaps of swings, basically at all the tables. So let's take a look at all the results after day 1. So notably here, big win to Switzerland. Egypt and Bulgaria played a very tight draw. Norway had an absolute massive win over the UAE. Hungary had a big win over Uruguay. USA won, solid win over Guadeloupe. South Africa had a good win against Singapore. Very strong day by South Africa here. England over Italy. They'll be very happy with that. New Zealand, small win over China, Hong Kong. And Australia had a solid loss to Denmark. And as you can see, just big wins everywhere, basically. Like, even if the win wasn't big, the amount of imps that went around on those boards, absolutely huge. But after day 1, Netherlands is in the lead and South Africa is in second, very close behind. But South Africa has had one of the tougher draws so far. But rounding out the top 8 so far, we've got Hungary in 3rd, Denmark 4th, Norway 5th, New Zealand in 6th, England 7th, and Switzerland in 8th. Let's have a quick look at the other field to see how they're doing. In the mixed teams, the Wuhan Cup, Romania is leading, then France 2nd, Germany 3rd, Italy 4th, Poland 5th, Belgium 6th, Israel 7th, and Australia's in 8th spot. In the Diorsi Trophy, this is the seniors. USA 1 is leading with a very good margin, 7 imps off, 7 VPs. This is a very solid margin after day 1. They would be very happy with their first day. India in 2nd, Denmark 3rd, Argentina 4th, Poland 5th, Italy, Germany, and France rounding out the top 8. And in the women's, the Venice Cup, Poland, again, very happy with this lead. 6 VPs clear. And then Denmark's still got 5 VPs over England. So Poland, absolutely ecstatic with this day. Rounding out the top 8 are Spain, Scotland, USA 2, Canada, and Sweden. So that is day 1 results from the World Championships. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.